Hi, Jacob. Welcome.
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Could you please explain what are the technological advancements and challenges in carbon capture implementation?
Sure, it's a great question. So, carbon capture as a technology in general has been coming along for several decades now. It's very new to the maritime sector. There are a couple of different technology types. In high level terms, there's post-combustion or pre-combustion. Most of what we're talking about today and that's being developed actively is post-combustion, where we're extracting the CO2 from the exhaust gases from some sort of an internal combustion engine. So within that category, most of the technologies and products that are coming to the market are amine based, which is something like a scrubber system that you might be more familiar with. There's also membrane systems which are coming along. There's cryogenic systems and hybrid cryogenic systems which are potentially very interesting, but often more focused at a larger scale than we'll see required on ships. And then there's a few other options involving like the calcium absorption, etc. But I'll mostly focus on the amine type systems since that's the most companies' primary focus. In these, some of them, amine or the CO2 will be separated from the amine and stored separately. In others, it's actually treated, it'll be offloaded and treated off-site, off the ship, and then fresh amine comes aboard. So it's a few different potential models for how these things will operate. In technical terms, you can get a system to fit, I mean, a shipboard carbon capture to fit on a ship in many, many cases. I think it's a good techno-economic fit and in particular a technical fit for large ocean-going ships that have space and are not weight constrained. So, for example, tankers, gas carriers, bulkers can also be a fit to some extent. The main challenge there with it from the ship's perspective is that it's a high cost to install. It has a high cost to operate in terms of electricity and waste heat. Some of the waste heat, or I should say electricity and heat, some of that heat can come from waste heat, but not all ship types have a good supply of waste heat. So fundamentally, it's expensive to implement and then expensive to operate. And then the third and probably more challenging issue over the long term is that you eventually have to get this CO2 off the ship. And there's very little supply chain in place in terms of literally ways to get it off the ship and then moving it from where it's taken off the ship to a sequestration site and sequestered. But the good news is that this CCUS infrastructure has developed a great amount over the last several years, and it's really picking up pace. So there's dozens of projects. There's also quite a few ships under construction and even coming into operation, which are themselves CO2 carriers, which in one form or other may eventually end up taking CO2 off the ships.
Great. Thanks for your input.